All right, so today we're going to be looking at something a bit different. The 7 best master's degrees for high-paying remote jobs. Now, I know what you're thinking, Shane, why are you talking about advanced degrees when you usually focus on accessible opportunities? Well, first of all, this is actually accessible, and it's accessible in a pretty short period of time, which I'll show you how to do momentarily. And whether you're just starting your remote work journey or you're already in it, you need to know where these careers can lead. Think of it like this. You might start in an entry-level remote position, but knowing the end game helps you build your career strategically. And these are the fields where remote workers are climbing to easily 150K plus salaries per year. And companies like Google, Amazon, and Apple are desperately trying to hire from these specific programs. And most people don't even know that these degrees exist. Now here's what's happening in 2025. Office work dropped another 6% last year. And companies aren't just allowing remote work, they're completely rebuilding their operations around it. You know, with all the news about companies going back to being in office, the trend continues to be that companies like people working remotely. And we're seeing 6-figure starting salaries, full benefits, and complete location freedom becoming more and more common. But more importantly, we're seeing people start in entry-level remote positions and strategically work their way up to these roles. And I chose these 7 master's degrees based on what actually matters for long-term remote career growth. Now, before we dive into these career paths, here's something interesting about education in 2025. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, or BLS, the trend is showing that while master's degrees can accelerate your path, more companies are focusing on skills and experience. It shows that while traditional master's degrees can accelerate your path, more companies are focusing on skills and experience. And they're creating alternative routes for people already working in these fields. And one way people are building these skills while working is through platforms like study.com. They offer flexible courses that can align with these career paths, letting you learn at your own pace while gaining practical knowledge. And I actually created an entire series of videos on how you can get bachelor's degrees online, and sometimes in as little as 6 months. And this is 100% legit. There's testimonial after testimonial after testimonial of people doing this. And the same thing can happen with master's degrees. And the craziest thing is, on top of being able to get a master's degrees in as little as a year or 6 months, in many cases, your company will actually pay for it for you. But you have to do it strategically by taking some of the credits on websites like study.com, and they don't make it easy, which is why I created a completely free guide on exactly how to do it. It's going to be a spreadsheet that shows you the exact credits that you need to take and exactly where you need to go to take them. So check that out. I'll put it down in the description and the pinned comment below. And this is literally like the hack of all hacks, right? These are completely legit college degrees that you get from universities such as WGU or Thomas Edison State University, but you're able to get them in sometimes a year or less, or even 6 months or less. But whether you choose traditional education or alternative paths, what matters is understanding where these fields are heading. So let's dive into these 7 career paths, starting with information technology management. Now, remember when IT was just, have you tried turning it on and off again? Well, in 2025, IT management grads are the ones turning entire companies on and off again from their own homes. And the salary can get you up to $150,000 a year and even more. Now, most people don't realize that COVID didn't just push companies to go remote temporarily, it completely changed how IT teams operate, right? So there's some careers where they made a lot of people go back to the office, and then there's some career paths where the companies absolutely loved it when people went remote. And you know what that means? These companies now need leaders who understand both technology and team management. But how is a master's in IT management worth every penny? Well, we're gonna talk about that. So what happens in the program is that you won't only learn about technology, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because you're actually transforming how business leadership works. And this is exactly what sets you apart from the thousands of IT professionals stuck at lower salary caps. And check this out, by year 2 of your master's program, you're already building real-world digital transformation strategies. You're also running simulated enterprise-wide technology implementations, and you're learning directly from CIOs of major tech companies. Now, this user completely transformed his tech career with this exact degree, and here's what he revealed after 5 years post-graduation. The lessons I learned fundamentally changed my approach to technology leadership. And this isn't just about getting certificates, it's about developing real strategic thinking. And check out his key insights. He learned that technology strategy isn't always rigid planning. Sometimes the best strategies emerge organically. And most importantly, he discovered that managing tech isn't about the tech at all. It's about the people. And the game-changing part, his master's thesis wasn't just another paper. It revealed how tech teams actually share knowledge in the real world. And spoiler alert, it's not through fancy documentation systems. And within 5 years, he started his own business, navigated through global challenges, transformed how entire teams approach innovation, and he credits it all back to the critical thinking skills from his master's program. So that is some high praise. Now, let me show you exactly what you can do with this degree. First up, you can be an IT director and earn an average of $160K per year. Or you can become a digital transformation manager, pulling in $150K plus. And last but definitely not least, you can become a technology program manager. And this position commands a salary of around $140K. And remember, all of these roles have one thing in common. They're perfect for remote work because they're already built on digital foundations. And there's no need to convince anyone to let you work remotely. These positions are remote by design. So check with your company to see if they'll pay for some of these programs, and then look into my guide on how you can actually get these degrees significantly faster than normal. And you do that by going to some select universities such as WGU or Thomas Edison State University, and you test out a bunch of the credits before you even start with them, right? So don't join the universities, make sure that you test out of the credits first, then transfer the credits in, and then start the program. And that's how you're able to finish these degrees in a year or less. And like I said, I have a complete guide on exactly how to do that. It's in the description and the pinned comment below. Next is business analytics. And you know how Sherlock Holmes could walk into a room and instantly know everything? Well, business analytics is like that. But instead of crime scenes, you're solving multi-million-dollar business mysteries. And the salary range is $110,000 to $160,000 a year. And these jobs are perfect for remote work. And let me tell you something crazy. Companies are literally drowning in data, but they have no idea what to do with it. And if you haven't heard already, data is more valuable than oil or gold. And that's where you come in with a master's in business analytics. You become the person who spots million-dollar opportunities in spreadsheets, predicts market trends before they happen, and helps companies save massive amounts of money. And here's what makes this degree special for remote work. All your work is digital. You can easily present your findings via Zoom, and companies don't care where you analyze your data from. You could be doing it from your home or on a beach in Bali. They don't care. And the best part is you can work in any industry: tech companies, healthcare, finance, entertainment, and a whole lot more. Now, check out this interesting conversation I found on Reddit. One user shared their journey with this exact degree, and they said that I found it incredibly helpful. It boosted my salary by almost 200%, and I started consulting on the side. So it doubled the amount of money they were making in their career, and it allowed them to start a business on the side. And here's what makes this even better. Another Redditor jumped in with their detailed breakdown, and they said that they started at $50K in a regular role. They made a smart move to a department with a dedicated analytics team, and they spent 2 years building domain knowledge. Then they leveraged their master's degree to jump to $125K per year. Now, they're keeping it real about two things. First, having some background helps. They already had a job. Second, the degree can cost about $25K. But if you've got a clear path or company sponsorship, or if you use the guide, which I'll put down in the description in the pinned comment below, it can cost significantly less than that. And you're gonna get your ROI back in a matter of a few months. And it's gonna end up making you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of extra dollars in the long run. And speaking of ROI, let me show you exactly what roles you can land. You could become a business analytics manager. They make about $139K per year. You can be a data strategy consultant. They make about $160K per year. Or you can be an analytics solutions architect, and they make about $170,000 a year. So yeah, lots of amazing opportunities here. The next one is going to be financial technology or fintech. And this is for those of you who are tech and finance nerds at once. And you know those banking apps that you use, the ones that make sending money as easy as sending a text? Yeah, that's fintech. Now, why is this master's degree important? Well, traditional banks are scrambling to catch up with fintech innovation, and they're spending billions trying to compete with startups. And guess who they're desperately trying to hire? People with this exact degree. Think about it. You're not just learning how to build payment apps, you're learning how to completely reinvent banking. And your master's thesis could even be the next Venmo or Stripe. And the master's program gives you something unique. You learn the technology behind digital payments, the psychology of financial products, and most importantly, how to navigate financial regulations. And the last part, that's what separates the six-figure roles from entry-level positions. And that's actually secretly the value of a lot of these degrees. Even though we've talked about on this channel how a lot of degrees are outdated and you can learn all the information that you learn in a degree easily just by searching on Google or YouTube or AI, there's still a level of legal liability for many of these positions. And wouldn't it look terrible as a company if someone messed up and it turns out that that person didn't have any college degree at all? In court, the company would probably be held liable for that because you hired somebody who didn't have any official credentials, right? So from a company's perspective, especially in these types of positions where there's a lot of legal liability, it makes sense to hire somebody who has those credentials, aka has a master's, because at least they could say that they did their due diligence. Now, here's a real story that shows exactly how this degree works in the real world. I found somebody who switched from accounting into fintech, and his issue, he was stuck in a low-paying finance job that he hated. And he used his master's in fintech to to land a developer role at a software company, building tax products. But here's what makes this interesting. He wasn't a coder when he started. He learned to code during the program and used the fintech degree as his bridge into tech. And the key insight? There's no such thing as a single fintech job. Instead, this degree opens doors to multiple roles: software development, financial analysis, product management, basically anywhere that finance meets technology. And after the degree, he got the salary he wanted, he got better work-life balance, and more importantly, he actually enjoys what he does. Now let me show you exactly where this degree can take you. Fintech product managers make about $160,000 a year, digital banking strategists make about $110,000 a year, and blockchain developers make about $110,000 a year as well. So there are so many different industries that you can go into, and there's so many different opportunities for you to make money. Next, at number 4, we've got healthcare informatics. And you can probably notice a trend where a lot of these jobs are in industries where there's heavy regulations and you kind of have to understand the law. Plus, there's a lot of financial liability. And that's why in many cases, they pretty much have to hire people who have master's degrees. So when you get a master's degree, you have a massive competitive advantage. Now, here's a weird question. What do TikTok recommendations and modern healthcare have in common? No, not dancing doctors. It's that they're both powered by AI. But one saves lives and pays $160,000 a year. And you can do it from your own home. The demand is exploding for healthcare informatics. And while the master's program can be tough, it's reshaping healthcare as we know it. So basically what you're going to be learning here is data analysis and how it applies to healthcare. Plus there's other applications like how to build AI systems that detect diseases earlier than doctors, projects like creating a telehealth platform that brings healthcare to remote areas, designing predictive analytics that prevent health crises before they even happen, and building secure systems that handle sensitive patient data. And the cherry on top is you don't even need a medical background. Tech people, business analysts, and even former teachers are succeeding in this field. Why? Because healthcare desperately needs fresh perspectives. And in healthcare tech, tons of positions open up for you. First, clinical informatics directors. They make about $140,000 a year. Second, healthcare analytics managers make $160,000 a year. And third, we have senior digital health product managers that make $190,000 a year. Absolutely bananas. And right now, healthcare companies can't find enough qualified people to fill these positions. And that's exactly why these salaries keep going up. Now, let me share something about this degree. I found some stories from actual graduates and they're pretty inspirational. First up, meet a former hospital therapist who felt stuck in their role. They decided to pursue a master's degree in healthcare informatics to grow their career. And even though they went in just hoping for a promotion, they discovered something much bigger. During the program, they took one healthcare IT class and it clicked. This was the future of healthcare. Fast forward and they landed an interview with the right team at their hospital who saw their unique blend of clinical experience and tech knowledge. And they got a nice raise. But here's another story that's even more interesting. This person started at a university help desk making hourly wages with just a BS in pharmaceutical sciences. And they took a leap and they enrolled in the Masters in Healthcare Informatics program. And they were only one of 2 people in their class without clinical experience. Most of their classmates were doctors, nurses, pharmacists, all going back for this specific degree. And despite having no healthcare background, a reputable hospital took a chance on them. Why? Because the program's reputation was that strong, and they brought fresh tech perspectives that hospitals desperately needed. And these stories prove something crucial about healthcare informatics. It doesn't matter where you start. Whether you're a clinician looking to innovate or a tech person wanting to impact healthcare, this degree opens doors. Because in 2025, both perspectives are incredibly valuable when it comes to improvement. Next is cybersecurity. Now, while you're watching hackers and movies steal in 60 seconds, real cybersecurity experts are stopping them in 6 seconds and getting paid more than the movie budget to do it. Seriously, when it comes to supply and demand, I think cybersecurity might be the most ridiculous one. Like, there's a massive amount of demand for people who have cybersecurity skills and there's not much supply. And a lot of the people that are really talented when it comes to cybersecurity do not have college degrees. But that presents a huge problem for companies. Because if there is a data breach, companies can get sued for billions of dollars. And it all comes down to liability. That's the dirty little secret that nobody else on YouTube except for me is going to tell you. And a fun fact here is companies are paying people $170,000+ per year to actively try to break their systems. These are called ethical hackers. And the more they break, the more they make. So how is this job relevant? Well, every time you hear about another major company getting hacked, every time you see another ransomware attack in the news, that's another job, or probably thousands more jobs realistically, that are going to be open for cybersecurity experts. And what makes this master's degree different in 2025 is that you're training on actual corporate security breaches, not textbook examples, but real, messy, expensive failures. And you're learning how to prevent the next one. And the master's program puts puts you ahead because you're training in actual cyber defense operations, you're learning to think like both defender and an attacker, you're understanding the psychology of social engineering, and you're mastering zero trust architecture for remote teams. And the best part about cybersecurity, every company needs it, but most can't build a full team because there's only one qualified expert for every 10 positions. And all the companies need to hire people that are not only qualified when it comes to the skills, but they're also qualified when it comes to their credentials, right? Because they have to cover themselves legally. So yeah, massive, massive amount of opportunity in cybersecurity. I mean, there's government jobs, there's technology jobs, legal jobs. If you have cybersecurity skills, even just like mediocre skills, honestly, and then you get this master's degree, you're set for life. You will never, ever, ever have to worry about money again. Security architects make about $180K per year. Cybersecurity managers make $160K per year. And cybersecurity consultants make $150K per year. And I have quite a few friends who are in cybersecurity. And to be completely honest with you, many of them tell me that cybersecurity positions are super chill. Now, obviously, if you have an attack, you have to be ready to, get up even in the middle of the night and take care of it. But for the most part, it's kind of just waiting for something to happen in many cases. So yeah, cybersecurity, absolutely amazing. So much opportunity. Next is going to be instructional design and technology. And if you remember those boring and mind-numbing corporate training videos, well, some genius figured out they were costing companies millions in lost productivity. So now companies are paying $150,000 to people who can make training feel like watching a movie. So these are basically experts in making education fun. And a master's degree in instructional design and technology is transforming how companies train and develop talent, because today every company is a teaching company. And in this program, you're going to be learning how to design AI-powered learning experiences, how to create training programs for many industries, how to build virtual reality training simulations, how to measure the real-life impact of learning initiatives, and how to develop personalized education at scale. Now, this is especially interesting to me as somebody who is an educator on YouTube. And every major company needs these skills. Tech giants, healthcare organizations, manufacturing firms, they're all building internal universities. And one of my neighbors is actually an instructional designer, and he started his own business and he makes multiple six figures per year with a super chill business. Now, let me show you exactly why this degree is exploding right now. And if you don't believe that people can get a job here, this graduate had no background in education at all, and 6 months before finishing their master's in instructional design, they landed their dream role. Like, the company couldn't even wait for them to graduate. They just hired them before they even graduated. And that shows you there's a massive amount of demand here. And here's some career paths you could go into. First of all, Director of Online Learning and Educational Technology. They make about $130K per year. 2, Learning Solutions Architects. They make about $140K per year. And 3, Chief Learning Officers make about $180K per year. So yeah, lots and lots of opportunities here. The next one is the granddaddy of them all, and that is data science. Fortune tellers are out of business in 2025. Why? Because data scientists are predicting the future with algorithms instead of crystal balls. And they're a lot more accurate. And companies are paying them consultant level money to do it. Now, the salary range, we're talking $130 to $180K per year. But here's what makes this the most valuable degree in 2025. You're going to become the architect of data-driven decisions, the person companies can't function without. And what actually happens in this master program is you're learning to handle massive data sets while building predictive models that actually work in production. And most importantly, you're turning complex data into clear strategies. Now, here's what sets this degree apart. You're not just learning tools, you're learning how to think. And you're learning the legal side of things as well. Because as you can imagine, there's been a lot of scandals with data and companies collecting our data without, asking us for permission. So it's important to know that side of things as well. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do I really need a master's degree? Can't I just do a boot camp and save time? And it really is one of the biggest dilemmas in data science right now, because boot camps do promise quick results and master's programs require a bigger investment and they take a longer time, unless you use my guide down in the description in the pinned comment below. But let me show you why this decision matters more than you think. I found this from a Fortune 50 data scientist who's been on both sides of the hiring table. And the reality is boot camps charging $10,000 might seem like a shortcut, but most boot camp graduates aren't landing data scientist positions. They're not even getting entry-level analyst roles. Meanwhile, this data scientist transitioned from analyst to scientist with a proper master's degree. And the total cost was about $10,000, which is about as much as the boot camps cost. But the cool part is the company actually reimbursed $5,000. There was a government tax credit that gave him back $2,000. And so the final cost was just $3,000 for credentials that actually opened doors. Plus, he knows somebody who chose the boot camp route around the same time, and 2 years later, that person still hasn't landed their first data scientist role. So is it possible to become a data scientist without a degree? Absolutely. But do most people get degrees to become data scientists? Yes. Plus, Plus, like I said, there's that dirty little secret of liability that most companies and most YouTubers aren't going to talk about. Now, here's some career paths you can go into. There's a lead data scientist. They make about $200,000 a year. There's analytics managers. They make about $160K per year. And we have principal machine learning engineers, and they make about $190,000 a year. So there you have it. 7 career paths that are dominating remote work in 2025. And remember, you don't have to jump straight into a master's degree. Many people start in entry-level positions and work their way up, and they use their experience as a stepping stone. The key is knowing where you want to end up so that you can plan your path strategically. And if you want to check out more about how you can get these degrees incredibly quickly, check out the video I made on how to get a degree in 6 months by clicking right here.